Where do we start? First, sincere apologies for the delay for a few minutes. Thank you for taking your time out to be part of this webinar. It's a pretty interesting webinar that we'll be having today and talking about areas which is very, very important and very critical for all of you, and the pain area for a lot of the customers that we'll be talking about, that is about the vulnerabilities. And this keeps on adding up. And one of the challenges that most of you might be facing is how do we remediate against those vulnerabilities. And we have got something very interesting to talk about it and how we can help you in getting this remediated virtually. And at the end of 72 hours, you get a clean report, which can be useful to present to your board, can be used to present to your regulators or wherever it is important for you all to go and show to them that you are safeguarded against the critical high medium vulnerabilities that are there within your infrastructure. Having said that, let me introduce myself. I'm Jayesh Warier. I'm VP of Sales at Indusface, and along with me, I've got Sumit Jain from Threat ResQ. Um, Giving a quick background about myself, I got almost 25 years of experience into sales, and of which almost 2 decades in cybersecurity. Prior to joining Indusface, which was early 2001, I was in Wipro and I was heading the cybersecurity business for India region for first 4 years, and then 2 years I was based in Australia handling their APJ business. So that's about me. I'll hand it over to Sumit to give an introduction about himself and about the company, and then we'll go to the topic that I mentioned about a bit earlier. Over to you, Sumit.
Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you, Jayesh. Uh, Good morning, everyone, for joining this particular webinar. And my name is Sumit. I am CEO and founder of Threat ResQ Technologies. And we are the company who provides us compliance-based services along with solutions which are required for the compliance in various companies like BFSI sector, having like 20 years of various company for like so SIFI, Netcore, and then we started in 2000 Cyberome and Fortinet 2014, 10 long years which based services. So this webinar we have really focus on the vulnerability approach, like how we can fix the vulnerabilities as soon as possible for applications. So as you know, like we are working in this particular space for quite long. We have more than 350 customers we are working with, and we are providing on like security solution on day-to-day basis, like VAPT, digital forensic, SOC and services, EDR solutions, same as a service. So these are the few solutions which we provide primarily to our customer. So in this particular space, the major issue which arise on the application front is about the vulnerability. So we started vulnerability management and vulnerability assessment as a service for various like products and various companies. We have done more than 150 projects on the application security till date, and we are working on in healthcare. So this is our portfolio, and we want, if you stick with us for this particular webinar, you will find various and Indusface as a product company provides with the application security. With that, over to you, Jesh.
All right. Thanks, Sumit. Thanks for that brief introduction. All right. So before we get into the crux of the whole discussion, a quick introduction about the company as well. In this space, we are almost 200 people company, having 6 offices as of now, two in Americas region, one in Middle East, and we have got 4 offices in India. We got almost 5,000 plus customers, spread across 95 plus countries from a geography perspective. And we are growing at an appreciable rate of 60 plus percent year on year. Being into security, it's important that while we provide certification and authentication from a security standpoint, we also need to be compliant and we also need to have certification. So we have got pretty much all the certifications that most of our customers are looking at, whether it is from a ISO 27001 perspective or PCI DSS from data, SOC 2.0 certification, GDPR. So all those certifications from a data perspective, infrastructure perspective, application perspective, we have got all the certification in place. Recognitions, we have got pretty much recognized in the various global uh, people who are looking at from a recognition perspective. But the name that I want to call out is Gartner, wherein we have been the leader for the last 3 years, and proud to say that we are the only Indian vendor to be on the top right for the last 3 years. Coming to the platforms, the flagship product that we have is from an application protection standpoint, which is Aptrana, and that's what we'll be talking about today. Apart from that, we also have an assessment solution for doing continuous assessment of your applications, just not the application, but the infrastructure where the application is residing, and as well as the malware scanning. So if the customers, we have got customers who only want malware assessment to be done on a regular basis. So we have got a solution which does regular malware assessment. And these are some of the banks who have been using this solution for almost 6, 7 years now. And lastly is SSL certificate. We have got a third-party solution from SSL standpoint, and we are the distributors of interest SSL certificate. So that's the product portfolio that we have. I already mentioned about 5,000 plus customers in 95 plus countries. That's just a geographical representation of where our customer base are. The red dots, signifies where our customer base is. Um, from a now cutting it across from a vertical standpoint, and you name these are some of the major verticals which most of us recognize, and you see here that we got some of the leading names in those verticals as our customers, whether it is BFSI, whether it is healthcare, whether it is government, retail, SaaS or IT enabled services or healthcare insurance. So we've got customers spread across all the verticals and some of the leading names in them. And many of them are reference customers. So at any point of time, based on the vertical that you are into, we can also provide a reference and we can get a call done as well. So that's from a representation from a vertical standpoint. Most of the leading research bodies they also have mentioned our names for the last 2 years, and Gartner we have been on the top right for the last 3 years, as I mentioned earlier. Um, we also regularly do research, but these are some of the news or research that comes out pretty regularly, and you must be reading all of this about the pretty frequent cyber attacks and the volume of attack, whether it is from a volumetric perspective or from a financial perspective, how much people have lost, how much organizations have lost. These are all there in the press, and you all must be reading it on a regular basis. From a more for the people who are there on the call, it will be important to know what are the type of attacks which are there, or which are the very frequent attacks, from where the attack is coming, what are the type of attacks, what are the attack vectors. That's the type of analysis that we do on a quarterly basis, and we come out with a report that you all can download. Obviously, there's no mention of the customer name or application name. We just do a sampling of around 1,500 applications from the various customer bases that we have. We just pluck out the data and talk about only the type of attacks, from where it is coming. It's a very, very informative report which can be consumed by you all and actually can help in improving your security posture as well. So very interesting report. We can send it out to you as well, or a partner can send it to you as well. So that's about the research that we conduct on a regular basis. Coming to the agenda of today's conversation, we'll talk about the enterprise story, where the application security is going towards from an enterprise standpoint. The problem statement that most of the enterprises have had, and this is not just that we are talking about, but this is based on the conversation that we are having with the security leaders, CISOs, and CIOs and CTOs about the vulnerability fatigue. The pressure that the security team undergoes, because on one side there is a frequent change in the application, digitization is required, and on the other side they have to take care of the security aspect. So there is a lot of pressure on the team. And finally, we come up with a report which tells you that your applications are safeguarded, and we can provide you with a clean report as well. So that's within 72 hours. So that's the agenda of the conversation that we'll be having today. So, and these numbers can be a bit up and down. On an average, an enterprise, medium to large enterprises, and around 3,350 plus applications have been deployed. And this I'm talking about the applications, sub-applications, modules, and stuff like that, and a significant amount of APIs that have been rolled out. And API is becoming a buzzword now. It is very easy to deploy. Third-party APIs are available, but that's a problem statement for the security team as well. So a lot of API deployments are happening, and that's one of the concern areas that the customers are having. So that's the landscape that enterprises are having today, especially from applications and API perspective, which is public facing. And one of the edge devices that most of the organizations are facing today. And it's no magic here. The more the applications, obviously you'll have more vulnerabilities. Now, with all due respect to the application team, they must be taking care of all the measures to make sure that applications are safe. But at the end of the day, newer vulnerabilities come in, 0 days come in, the applications sit on some of the other infrastructure that can lead to vulnerability. So there are various parameters which are leading to increasing of vulnerabilities on a regular basis. Now that's the statistic that we have, around 38,000 open vulnerabilities within just the 1,400 applications that we have taken as a sample. So you can imagine the volume of vulnerabilities that are open with those applications. Now, the other thing is, this is a e-security planet report wherein talk about the Fortune 500 companies. Now, we all know that they invest a significant amount of money on security and make sure that they are safeguarded, but still it says that 450 critical vulnerabilities are open in a year, and you just need one or two critical vulnerabilities to expose your vulnerabilities and expose yourself to the external world. So but 450 critical vulnerabilities are open in a year. Now, the more and more the vulnerabilities, and it's given that you will have more and more vulnerabilities. Now, what it leads to is something called vulnerability fatigue. Um, uh, Different people, different organizations, they'll be all talking about different verbatims or verbiage, but we just say to be easy to understand, it's a vulnerability fatigue, because the more and more applications rolled out, the more and more scannings happen, more and more testing happens, the more and more vulnerabilities come in. And that leads to the situation called vulnerability fatigue, because the security team or the application team already has got a set of vulnerabilities which they have to remediate. Now, with the rollout more applications or more change in the application, more and more vulnerabilities are also coming in. So it leads to a situation where there are too many vulnerabilities to be handled, and that's where a situation called vulnerability fatigue comes in. And interestingly, you see that 32% of vulnerabilities are open for more than 180 days. Now, when we talk about this sort of statistics to CISOs, they said, hey, they just have nightmares. They just have sleepless nights because 32% of vulnerabilities are open for more than half a year. So a significant amount of time where the vulnerabilities are open. Now, why these things happen? There are various reasons for this. Some of them that we have figured out, or what we have been hearing, is more and more third-party tools and open source libraries have been consumed while the application development is happening. That is one of them. Still, a lot of the organizations are on legacy systems. Now, most of the systems are either end of life or end of OS or end of applications, but they're still living on it because they are too critical applications. They cannot move to a newer application, and it takes time for them to move to a newer application, test it and deploy it and all that stuff. So there is stability issue that they have a concern on. So they're still on legacy systems and they are all prone to attacks because of the vulnerabilities that are open within them. The third aspect is addition of 0 days, and it is a given that 0 days are going to come in, day out. It's all about keeping ourselves agile and informed and to promptly respond to those 0 days. And if they are there in your infrastructure, how can you remediate them? So these are going to be there. And then finally is prioritization. Now, this is where another challenge comes in, wherein organizations are grappling to prioritize on the vulnerabilities. They just say that on CVSS scores, critical, high, medium, let's remediate that. But the critical and high, medium, high vulnerabilities only take significant amount of time, whereas others have been left out. So prioritization of vulnerabilities also is another area. So these are four points that we have taken, but there are other points also which organizations have come up and told us that these are also the reasons where the vulnerabilities are open for a significant amount of time. Now, increased burden on the security team. Now, on one side, the developers or application team have a significant amount of pressure to roll out new modules or roll out new applications because of the rampant digitization, or pressure from the business team or pressure from the CIO to roll out the applications to make it more feature rich, more capabilities enabled in the application. Now, while that is happening, many a times they overlook the best security practices, though they don't want to, but many times they overlook the security practices. That's one side. And on the other side, there's a pressure on the security because of the regulatory bodies. Now, the application teams keep on rolling those applications while the CISOs and the team are responsible to make sure that those applications are secure on one side. On the other side, there's regulatory bodies. They also come up, do audits and all that on a regular basis and ask for them that that their say applications are secured. Also, needless to mention that at the end of the day, now board, the senior management is also very, very conscious about the security posture. They also keep on asking them that their applications or APIs or critical facing infrastructure applications are secured. Now, this is the pressure or the burden that the security team undergoes. Now, what's the solution to this? The most ideal situation is that when the vulnerability comes in, they go back to the application team and gets it remediated. Easier said than done. But if it was done, then the vulnerabilities would not have been open for more than 180 days. But that's not the ideal situation. Vulnerabilities keeps on increasing. The remediation takes its own time, and the overall time duration or the vulnerabilities being open is significantly high. So we have to bring that down. The ask is to bring that exposure down from months to days. That's what the ask is from most of the customers. And that's where we come in with a feature called Swift Comply, wherein our solution has got a mechanism of continuously assessing the applications and API, and based on the prioritization, whether it's CVSS score or based on the business criticality, we prioritize those vulnerabilities. And the critical high, medium vulnerabilities will be virtually patched within 72 hours. And that's an SLA that we provide to our customers, that within 72 hours, those vulnerabilities will be virtually patched. And post that, anybody who does an assessment, whether it's an RBI or a SEBI or any of the regulatory bodies, they do a scan of those applications outside in. They will not be able to see those vulnerabilities because they are virtually patched at the platform that we have in between. And we also give them a confidence that they can have a safe to host certificate as well. So those applications can be hosted to the public domain, even if the vulnerabilities are open, because we have a platform in between which does a virtual patching. So that's a critical feature that we provide to most of the customers, and they are just loving it because they have got somebody sitting in between and taking care of those vulnerabilities. And if there is any attack that is going to happen towards those vulnerabilities, we'll be able to block it. So that's a very critical feature. Now, uh, how does this happen? So first and foremost, we do an assessment of the applications or APIs, find the vulnerabilities. Second thing that we do is we we deploy the rules to patch those vulnerabilities virtually. It's a virtual patching to block the critical high medium vulnerabilities that are there within the application. And lastly, post that, if any scanning is happening from outside in, those vulnerabilities will not be visible to the external world. So it is as simple as that. The solution that we have is, first and foremost, let's say you've got 5 applications. We onboard those applications on a platform. We do an assessment of those applications. We find the vulnerabilities. Those vulnerabilities will be reported to you all, your team, and your team can still go back and talk to your application and start patching them. To do a real patching. While that is happening, we will write the rules to enable the virtual patching. And post that, if there's a scanning happening, the report that will come out is a clean report. So that's the solution that we have. So whether uh, uh, we do it with a product that we have, we do a combination with our manual team. The assessment will be done combination of our product and our team as well. Um, and finally, just to quickly talk about the platform that I have, what we have, the platform is called Aptana Web Platform. Uh, the terminology called web comes in because we are a web application and API protection. Initially, we were only doing WAF, which is web application firewall, only protecting applications. But now we protect not only web applications, the mobile applications and API as well. Now, how are we a bit different compared to other WAF players or WAF players with other in the market? Is with the steps that I mentioned that in the right. So the first thing that we do is onboarding the application. And once the onboarding application happens, let's say we do the onboarding is done today. The first thing that we do is we do the scanning. I'll leave the first portion, talk about the end. The first thing that we do is scanning of those applications and find the vulnerabilities within an application. Now, after that scanning is done, within a day, the scanning happens, and within a day, you'll come to know about the vulnerabilities which are there in the application. So we have an inventory of those applications or the vulnerabilities of those applications. Second thing that we do is we start protecting the applications against those vulnerabilities. This is where conventionally all the WAP or WAF players come into play. But we do it we do it significantly better because we have the information about the vulnerabilities and we start providing the protection based on the vulnerabilities that the customer environment is having. So the deployment is faster, the protection that you all get is pretty much faster, while others have a laundry list of rules to be deployed to enable the protection. And it takes sometimes 3 months, 4 months to 6 months to enable the protection, while we can provide a protection within few days. And that's an SLA that also we provide. Apart from that, we also have a Gen AI based unmetered behavioral DDoS and bot protection. So what I mean to say here is, irrespective of the volume of DDoS attack that comes in and attacks your infrastructure, we'll be able to take that. We will figure out in our platform that what traffic is relevant to your infrastructure that will be passing. So what we take in is unmetered DDoS attacks that comes in. We with our rules and patching mechanism, we'll only transfer the traffic which is only relevant to others. All will be blocked at our platform level. So it is unmetered DDoS. Well, most of the competition that we have with us, they provide a metered DDoS. Ours is a unmetered DDoS and bot protection. The third thing that we provide from protection standpoint is especially for APIs. Now, knowing the traffic of APIs that are coming in over a period of time, the platform will be enriched. It will understand the behavioral pattern, and we build a model called positive security model. And only the traffic which has been relevant, only those will be passing. So based on the positive security model, only that sort of a traffic will go into your infrastructure. So that's a feature that is also been part of the protection. Then we provide a compliance, as I said earlier, we can provide a compliance report within 72 hours, which can be used by you all to go and talk to your auditors. You can talk to your board to say that you are compliant from a security standpoint. Um, the platform also comes with a 24/7 support. Now, we are the only OEM to provide our own 24/7 support, while most of the other product companies, they have got an SI or a partner or somebody else providing support. But in our case, we being the OEM ourselves, we provide 24/7 support to the platform, as well as we provide professional services support, means writing custom rules, deploying custom rules, testing and deploying custom rules. All those things will be done by our team. So 24/7 support is provided by us. If the customer has got a lot of static data, we also provide CDN, which will help in accelerating his web traffic. And coming back to the first point, which is discovery. Now, let's say you've got a company, let's say Aditya Birla Group. Now, if you want to identify the type of assets which are there, either the name of Aditya Birla or the web application that has been provided to us or API, we do discovery in the open web space and let you all know that these are the domains or the brands which are available specific to your organization in the outside world. That's an inventory that we provide, and we can sit with you all, remove the false positive and say that these are the true positive assets which are visible outside in, and of which maybe 50% of them are already part of the protection, but you will know that the remaining 50% is still open, and you can figure that out as part of your future mechanism to get it protected, maybe somewhere down the line, 2 months, 3 months down the line. So this discovery is an additional feature and part of the platform which can be done on a regular basis so that you can discover if there are any assets which may be not known to you and which is very relevant to APIs are also available in the public domain. And that can also lead to an attack for your organization. So that's the brief about the product that we have. As I said earlier, the product is called AppRunner, and it provides a comprehensive web application and API protection for your organization. Uh, that's what I have. We'll open up for questions from your side, and I'll be happy to address those questions. Please go ahead. Any questions, Hari, Manju? You can see any questions there? Any questions?
No questions, Jayesh, as of now. So,
All right. So I hope that the session was interesting for you all. If you have got any questions at any point of time, please send it to our team or to Sumit's team, and we will look at it and we will provide a response back to you. That's point number one. Second thing is, I just gave a very brief about the product. We'll be more than happy to do a detailed demonstration about the product. You can let us know a convenient time. We can do a detailed product walkthrough. It is going to be half an hour to 45 minutes product walkthrough. And post that, we can even do a non-obligatory POC wherein you can pick up one of your application and we can provide a live POC for that application for 15 days. And it's a non-obligatory POC, non-chargeable basis. We can do that as well. So as a two-step follow-up, we can do a product demo and post that. If you all are interested, we can do a POC as well. So that's on to you. And just let us know if you want to do those steps. We can ask our team to get in touch with you. Sumit, you want to give any concluding statement? Uh, Thank you all for your time. Sumit, over to you.
So thank you, Jayesh. Thank you for the brief introduction about the product and the services which we do together. So I think there is no questions more, so we can conclude this session here. So everyone, thanks for joining in, and we will be sharing more webinars about such topics in coming weeks. So we will be connect you soon through our team for more webinar sessions. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you, Manjunath, Hari.
Thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.